Hello.
What's up, guys? Zaid here with my boy Casey, back from a little YouTube drought, and he's got a nice little deck list he whipped up. What have you topped with it so far? Like 2 locals in a row?
First in one, second in another, both within the same week on the new list.
So you're crazy.
A little bit.
No is sold, no problem for Casey.
Yeah, that's the idea. So this is a version of the deck I haven't seen going around much. It's based on a combo I saw last format, and I was doing a little bit last format to mess with, but now that it's old span, you need a few different things to work for Infernoble to work correctly. So one of those big things is being able to play through hand traps, and another one is being able to target your Angelica when you make it, to trigger her effects to get you the rest of the way through the combo. So I figured out a way to do that, and I haven't seen it much, so here we are. We've done a little bit, so yeah, I'll go through it. I've got a 45 card deck. It's a real chunker here.
Oh, big boy.
Yeah, it's a big boy, but you'll see very quickly sort of how I'm doing it. So yeah, I'll start here. So I'm playing 3 copies of Beidel Star. That's right, I'm playing the good cards. 3 is a lot. Most decks would not play 3, but I really want to see this because not only does it start my whole Sinful Spoils engine, I actually use it as a combo piece. That's like part of the main thing my deck wants to do. So I want to see this every time.
I'm still like, I haven't been playing for a bit, so I don't really know what this does. What is this like? Don't you pitch it to search the spell or something?
You discard a card to summon, or you can either send a card from your field or discard a card to summon it. That doesn't start a chain, and then whenever you summon it, it searches and sets a Sinful Spoils card. So,
searches one and sets one?
Well, sorry, it sets it to the board. So like you search your deck and set.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can do it around draw, and the quick play that you get this with can be used in the draw phase, or can be used in resolution or something. So it doesn't really lose to draw much.
Awesome.
Which is also a weakness for this deck to be aware of. So, but yeah, this is really good, obviously, and you'll see exactly why I'm playing it here in just a second. I'm also playing another engine here. I'm playing the Kashtira engine. The reason why I'm doing this is because Fenrir is just crazy and it's still legal, so I'm going to play it. But also because these 2 cards together is your full Infernoble Knight combo too.
Weird.
So yeah, it's pretty weird. The reason why it is because these guys just so happen to search a level 4 Fire Warrior, which is exactly what you need to do everything. So it's pretty cool.
And his special summon doesn't lock you to Xyz, right? It's the banishing to make 7 that locks you to Xyz?
No, the special summon does.
Oh,
so a lot of times you're not actually specialing this unless it's at the end of your combo, but I'm not playing the Abyss Dweller in this build, but you can. So that's something you can do. I think that's something that is probably worth doing here in a little bit once we get more Fire King in the meta. But anyway, so those, and then the next 3 cards I'm going to show is kind of like the key thing of the deck. It's Sublimation Knight. No one's ever heard of this card. This card's kind of cool. It's level 3 guy. When you summon him, it equips a Fire Warrior from your deck to him. And that doesn't sound all that good. In previous formats, people experimented with this to get Squeak Knight. And Squeak Knight's like a guy that can just summon itself out, and it makes this old, but it's old's banned now, so can't do that. So I was looking at the other normal summons that are reasonable, and there's the Battle and Boxer engine, which kind of uses Sparer a bunch and summons a bunch of level 4s. It's pretty good, but I wanted to try something different. And the key combo is actually using this and Beidel Star. So you want to see these 2 cards all the time. Like you want to see these as frequently as possible.
That's the dream hand?
Yeah, and you're playing 6 ways to Beidel Star, and you're playing like 11 ways to Sublimation Knight.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and the way the combo works, even if you get drolled on the ad of this card, you can still do your full combo. So that was kind of the idea, is like something that's not as weak to droll, something that can help you play through other hand traps.
Yeah,
so,
if you can still set up a board through the droll, now they're down a card, you've got a crazy board.
Exactly, yeah, and the way that you're actually doing the combo is by equipping Turpin to the Sublimation Knight with its own effect. So Sublimation Knight summon, it equips the Turpin, and then Turpin has an effect, which doesn't come up often in the deck, but it makes the equipped monster into a tuner.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is a level 3 tuner, this is a level 7, you make a Baron.
Oh, we take those.
Yeah, you make a Baron on summon 3, which is really good. So it helps through Nibiru, it helps you with Droll if you haven't been Droll already. So it's pretty good. But yeah, I'll show the combo at the end of the thing if you want to. But yeah, so the rest of the monsters here.
Can I ask real quick though? So this doesn't proc Droll when it summons and sets a card. This doesn't proc it when you equip, so you could make the Baron before they've even Drolled if you were to open that, and then still full combo?
Yep.
That is broken. What the heck?
Yeah. And there's another benefit to getting Baron out early. I'll show you that when I show the combo. It's actually really cool. It's a little self-contained thing. It doesn't waste resources, and it gets you a lot further in the combo. But anyway, so these are like your best starters, essentially, other than wanted to search this. But other monsters. So The deck has changed pretty significantly since the beginning of the last format. PAX's Richmond list is pretty influential for like changing how you play the deck, and I've kind of continued that by playing a lot of singleton monsters. So this looks really bad, but let me explain. So you have enough search power to get to any of these pretty much at any time. This hasn't changed since last format, but just for sake of explaining some of the weirdo cards here, we're still playing Gearfried. Gearfried's awesome, but we cut the red layer and we cut the fire flint because making 2 warriors is not the full combo anymore. You have to like get a 4 and a 1, or like get the combination to make Angelica. Angelica is the choke.
Levels matter now?
Levels matter a lot. So the new additions are these. And these have very specific uses. One of the best things about this deck is its ability to get to Angelica's Angelic Ring, which is like the card that negates at resolution. It stops like Super Poly or Dark Ruler. And these cards are in here to help you with that. So this card at the end phase that it's sent, it's like a Scarm. It searches for either an equip spell or a Fire Warrior. So you can search any equip spell and add it to your hand. And then at the end phase, your Charles is able to equip a thing either from your graveyard or your hand. So this helps you get to the Angelic Ring. It also has an effect. It can quick effect attach to a monster as an equip spell. So this can trigger your Angelica. It can also trigger the Charles to pop a card in the opponent's turn. So it's okay, and some people have played it before, but I think it's pretty good now. You can also, whenever you blink out the Angelica to make the Roland, you can actually switch into this Roland if you want to, if it lines up. So that comes up less often, but it can happen. And then this card is really cool. This is treated as an Infernoble Knight at all times by its text here, but it's a tuner, which comes up. It's a level 1 fire tuner that checks all the boxes with our Sinful Spoil package. But what you do is you can discard this. It doesn't have to go to graveyard. You discard it, and you can equip a warrior with an equip spell from your deck. So nice. This can directly equip the Angelic Ring from the deck to a guy, if it's already equipped with a thing because of Angelic Ring's effect. But you can also use this as a starter to get to Durandal, so that you can search the other part.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and so it's pretty cool. At the whenever you go through your combo, if you have an extra museum, you can use museum to search Durandal, search this, and then this can equip the Angelic Ring. So these are both ways to get to Angelic Ring. I side these out a decent amount of times going second, but
yeah,
they
seem
strong.
Like they build boards going first, but you don't really need them to extend going second.
Right.
Might rather just have a going second card.
Exactly. Yeah. So those come out a lot of times, and I also will side 2 of these out pretty often. I still want 1 to be able to search for it, but I often side those out so I have less normal summons into going second. But the only other monsters in the deck that are not hand traps are 2 copies of Renaud. I stepped this up to 2 because like you do want to see this card a lot. The second best setup in the deck is OGA plus Renaud because it gets you like Gearfried and then it makes Angelica. And this card's just kind of good to push through interaction. So, and it's important to have a second one.
It like adds an equip spell back, right?
Yeah, it either adds a Fire Warrior or an equip spell from the grave or banish back to your hand.
So it's like a super extender if you're playing through boards.
It's one of the best extenders ever made. It's so good. It's so stupid good. But yeah, so that's kind of the weird sort of hodgepodge here. Some of these cards became a lot more important, like Oliver became a lot more important because now he's a level 1 tuner that you can get to if your push gets stopped. So you have to manage these pretty well. The only weird card I want to talk about a little bit too is Malgus. This card showed up at the end of last format as a way to recycle your one-ofs and stuff. This card's kind of more important now because you're not using like Phoenix Blade and recurring that way because you don't have Isolde to dump it.
Yeah, it's not free anymore.
Yeah, so and DDR isn't in here, so like you have to sometimes rely on Malgus at weird times to make your plays happen because like you need to be able to search an equip spell with Museum to actually use the special summon effect in the Museum. Sometimes you need to use this to put one back in the deck. So this card becomes a lot more important, but also weird because you sort of need to use your dumping resources to get the rest of your engine going. So it's still necessary, but its importance has changed in the deck a little bit. So that's that. I'm also going to do the hand traps here. I'm main decking very few hand traps at the moment. I'm playing 3 Ash and 3 Imperm.
Do you feel like they're not as good right now, or do you just not have room, or what?
They're okay. My deck's at 45, and I could find the room. In fact, I think I will find room for Droll specifically. And I'll show you what cards I would take out, but I figured these cover the most bases with a pretty wide format.
This too is going second.
Right, so I'm not packing in as many hand traps here. I'm playing more like engine cards in order to get it rolling, because you do need to sort of rely more on combinations of cards rather than the 1-card combos now. So this is probably a weakness of the deck I probably want to include more, And like I said, I'll show you what cards I'd take out to add the 3 Drolls in.
Are there other going second cards you'd consider instead? Because like usually with only 6 hand traps, it might be better to play like a blowout card or something.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Forbidden Droplet, because at the resolution of you searching a card, you can use the Droplet. You have the turn player priorities.
And then you pitch a monster player on Droll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and a lot of times you'll have an extra equip spell or extra field spell that you've already like made use of that you can send to get an extra negate from the Droplet too.
That would be sick too.
Yeah, so Droplet's pretty good in this deck. You can also, this is kind of funny, you can use Droplet to send Diabellstar during the opponent's turn, and then trigger the Diabellstar to recur herself back.
Oh, geez, that's cool.
So you send another card, and then bring back Diabellstar, search, and then further your combo on your opponent's turn. So that's pretty good. I've considered it, and I think I might look into it. So moving on to spells here, playing 3 copies of Wanted. Sorry about my really grody sleeves. I've played a lot on these sleeves. Yeah, proof that the deck is play tested. But yeah, this obviously searches your Diabellstar. And then 1 copy of Original Sinful Spoils. This is like the 1-for-1 for a level 1 Fire Warrior. Usually your target for this is going to be Richardetto, because it's like a Wolf Bark, it summons back a guy. So you want to have a level 4 Fire Warrior in the graveyard, and then get this to bring it back, and it makes it Angelica. That's the best use of it, but sometimes you do also just use it for Renaud to get a card back, and then, you know, keep going from there.
It's cool having options, so if you use this already, you can get that too.
Yeah, exactly. It can also summon either of these, which doesn't come up as much, but this is a tuner, and this is a Scarm, so like sometimes you don't need the other cards, they come up. I will say, too, I don't often use the draw effect of this without having used the banish effect of this one, because this lets you search a Fire Warrior, well, a level 1 fire at the, like, basically the turn after you've used the 1-for-1 effect. So I'll use this and usually search a Renaud.
That's so good.
Yeah, and then I'll use this to put this back in the deck.
That's nuts follow-up.
Yeah, so like you get a lot in the follow-up if you use it that way. Sometimes you need the extra draw with this, so you'll put this back a turn early and just get the draw instead of the search and the draw, but if I can, I like to resist and use both because I'm greedy. But anyway, there's those. I'm still on 3 copies of Heritage. This card isn't quite as good as it was last format, because sometimes with as old in the format, you would just dump stuff and then get it back to your hand with Heritage, where now you can't really do that. Usually you're searching your deck with this now. But yeah, the card's just really good. And then I'm also playing 3 copies of Museum. I think it's just right to play 3 of this. It's a crazy card. Every copy you see is another interaction for the end board, and this card's also a starter.
So it's not once per turn?
No. Yeah, they're soft once per turn.
Broken.
Yeah, this card's nuts.
The best kind of cards.
Every time I do it, someone asks me, they're like, wait, that's not once per turn. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, this card's crazy, obviously. This can basically stand in for any level 4 or lower, every level 5 or lower monster in the deck, because it can search for Durandal and then search for the right monster. So any combination of like this and this is full combo. This plus this is full combo too, because you equip Ogier onto this, and then use this to search, and then you summon the Ogier, and then you Rhoda like for the card that you need, and then you combo off from there. So this plus like pretty much anything is the full combo.
Cards like that are broken, where you have all these different things, but this gets the one that you need to match with the other.
Yeah, and even if you don't have it, you get one from Angelica through your combo anyway, and then usually one will just like eat a hand trap and you play through, so it's pretty good. So other cards, I'm playing a Call by the Grave.
Speaking of eating through hand traps.
Right, yeah, so Droll's still a problem, and like a well-placed Ash or Veiler can also be a problem if they know where to hit. Most people don't, but if they do, this is important, and I think that Droll is going to be played a lot more, so this is going to be, I think you just have to play the one of. But yeah, I'm playing a Terraforming. This is one of the cards I would cut for a hand trap probably, because of the...
Even with how good the field spell is?
It is really good,
but that plays into Droll.
It plays into Droll more, and then if you use a search for a search, like this will often search for a Durandal, instead of just having the card that searches. If you just had the search card instead, you'd be better off because you don't get hit by the Droll. And this is like the worst version of that, because this is a search for a search. Yeah. So like, so this is probably one that I would cut. Plus, you got to keep in mind this card can actually search for Museum. So you already have 6 copies, and then you have Angelica to search it too. So this is a little superfluous. I think it's one of the cards that can come.
That was a cool word.
Thanks, man.
Superfluous.
Superfluous is actually. So I'm playing a Rhoda. Very good. I'm playing a Foolish. Now, this is another card I could probably cut, but it does come up sometimes if they like are smart and imperm like your Ogier or your Sublimation Knight. This can help you with follow-up. This also can become a monster by sending Turpin, or like a thing that you can equip like Ogier and then using Museum to summon it. So it's pretty flexible, but I find it's the least important of those spots. It's probably going to come out. And then equip spells, I'm playing 2 copies of Durandal. This is the Searcher. Something to keep in mind, though, if you get drolled, you can equip this onto your monsters, make an either a Link monster or a Synchro monster, and then this can trigger to Reborn a guy.
Oh, cool. So it's not like just dead through droll. Why do you only play 2 then?
The reason why I'm only playing 2 is because they're once per turn.
Yeah, you don't want them clogging.
Yeah, and then often you're getting to it through this. Like, this is like the premium search for this. So, like, you don't want to see a bunch of these, but seeing it in your opening hand is still pretty good.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, 2 is the number I'm on. I don't think 3 is necessary, and I think 1's too few.
You probably want to have 1 to search for your combo and 1 for, like, follow-up.
Exactly, yeah. That often comes up. And then if I have to banish an equip spell for something, this is the one I'll banish. So, yeah, I'm also playing the other 2 really good ones. Almace, this is the one that, like, tags out for a different one. You use that effect a lot now to, like, blink this out and get a different one from deck. And then this one is really underrated, I think. It lets you add a warrior from grave back to hand and then to send it, so it's like the opposite of Durandal. Or if it's sent to the graveyard, because the equip monster goes, you can summon a fire warrior from your hand.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you set it up right and your opponent uses interactions in a way that's like destroying your cards or like sending your cards, you can put this on an important card, and then when it dies, you get to play. So a lot of times I'll put this on like a Masquerena, and then they'll link it off and I get to summon from my hand when they do it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's actually a really neat way to use it.
Yeah, and that comes up a lot now because a lot of decks are playing things that like leave the field, like Fire Kings making IP and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty good. And then this one's also the recurrence. Like if the card goes, you get to add back a card. So this is also really good. A lot of times you'll also put this on the Charles at the end phase, just as like extra follow-up. And then the last card in the main deck is just Angelic Ring. This card's still crazy. Yeah. I had someone super polying me the other day, and I'm like, I don't have any response. And they're like, okay, cool. And I'm like, yeah, Angelic Ring.
That's just like the Mermail one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This also has another effect, weirdly. This card is a time card. You can send it while it's equipped to a thing, gain 500, and that card can never be targeted by your opponent again.
Oh, gee.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
It has that built in. It didn't come up a lot last format, but now that I'm sometimes equipping it, like during the main phase, it comes up. And you can win in time that way, which, I mean, you're going to lose in time a lot because you're playing as well, but like if you don't, it's cool. So that's the main deck. It's 45. I'll show you the extra decks, and then I'll show you the side I played. But yeah, so there's that. I would like to step it up to the 3 extra hand traps, the 3 drolls, and probably take it up. I don't really want to take it to 46, but that might be the best answer. I'm not sure yet to be discovered. But anyway, there's that.
To be determined.
Yeah. Okay, so extra deck, it's 15, clearly. Here's the Xyz monsters. I'm playing Typhon because a lot of times you just kind of need this as a Swiss Army knife answer to like big boards, like Manadian and stuff like that. And you never really know when you're going to need it, but it comes up a lot. Weirdly, it doesn't come up in testing, but it comes up in real life play because you play against good opponents that answer your stuff, and then you just turn your last guy into this. Dempsey, this card's crazy. You just overlay 2 level 4s to make it, and then it searches any fire level 4 or lower. So a lot of times this is going to search for Nod, but you can also search like Oliver or Starter.
It's like Gear Giga X for your deck?
It's exactly Gear Giga X, yeah. And it can. It's also cool because you can attach material to make all your battle boxers untargetable. That doesn't really matter, but getting the material off does. So that can come up. Yeah, I'm not playing Zeus or anything like that. These don't come up often enough that I would, and you can't make Zeus after making this. So like, the Battle and Boxer version would definitely want to probably play Zeus, but I'm not doing it, but just that one. So, all right, then Synchros. I'm playing a Baron, 1 Charles. This might become 2 Charles. I've discovered a little problem sometimes if they answer this while it's equipped to something, you can't make another one. So I'm going to probably drop a card and make another Charles. I'm not sure what card yet, but it's possible. And then 1 Roland, 1 Angelica. I think this is probably fine. You could play 2 Rolands. There's a combo that plays 2. It doesn't come up enough for me that I'd want a second one, but it's good. If you actually hard make this, you can search for the Angelic Ring, or you send it and then search a warrior and then continue to like do your full combo. So this is another way to get to Angelic Ring, just by hard making this instead of summoning it through her. So if you have an extra level 4 in your combo, I'll often summon the level 1 Roland, summon the level 4, make this hard, and then I get 2 searches at end phase. The Roland and then the Captain Roland will both, one will send an equip spell, search a warrior, then one searches an equip spell or a warrior, you get all of it. So it's pretty cool. Okay, and then other Link monsters here. Link ones, I'm playing Link Spider in case I get Nibiru'd and no other reason, but it comes up enough. 1 Relinquished Anima, you're playing a lot of level 1s, and this helps through board.
Sorry to interrupt you. What does this do when you get Nib? Just turn it into an effect monster?
It turns it into an effect monster. Yep, that's the only thing. It comes up because SP will get its effect if you use an effect monster with it.
That's
That's true. That makes sense.
And more importantly, to use original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, you need to send a card to the graveyard. So
and you can't send a token. I see.
Yeah. So that comes up enough. This is probably more cuttable, but Nib does come up a lot. So yeah. But Anima is another way to answer a board that's kind of been established. It's also dark and a link monster, so works well with SP and with dark. So you'll use this to actually use your opponent's SP or to use their DFL
this card seems insane in this format. There's just a lot of very good darks that are in the main and extra deck that every deck's playing.
Exactly, yeah. So a lot of my players will like try to do a thing. If they stop me, I'll be like, okay, I'll take a thing. If you have a spot in a card in a bad spot, I'll take it. And I'll make this. I'll bring your DFL star, and then I'll link up into this and get my own.
Oh, Selena's nice too.
Yeah. And then I'm also playing a copy of Hida.
I was actually about to ask if you didn't play this. Would you play the fire one?
Oh yeah, it's really good, and it's only getting better. So yeah, this card.
Mirror Match, it's a sold.
It is a sold. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, it's really good, and like sometimes you just need it to like go through a combo and get to something, but a lot of times I'm doing weird stuff with this, and it's really good. Okay, then other Link Monsters. I'm actually playing 2 copies of SP, because it's a warrior. Little known fact, it's a warrior. Yeah, I was playing 2 because I found that I would sometimes need to make one before making a Zold last format, and that came up a lot. But now I find that I'll sometimes have grindier games, and I just want a second one.
That's fair, too.
So I'm playing 2. Whenever I play the second one, they're always like, you play 2? And I'm like, yeah, now you lose.
You're like, sorry, I have more money than you.
Yeah.
Is that card still $100?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Another cool thing that comes up in my build that doesn't come up in a lot of other builds that play SP, or I don't know, a lot of other decks I should say, is Malgus. This card has really good synergy with SP because you can equip Malgus from the graveyard to SP because it's a warrior, and that makes it so SP can't die by battle.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
so like they can't just battle phase threaten it?
Exactly, yeah. So that comes up a lot. I try to set this up on my end board if I can. So a lot of times my end board will be like Charles and then SP under it with this and then some other stuff. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the rest of the extra deck is just 2 copies of Big Chuck.
This card's insane.
Yeah, it's really good. It's 3 interruptions on its own. And, it gets you more engine the next turn too. So it's like continuous follow-up. If they don't answer it the first turn, they're never going to. And the only issue that sometimes comes up is you don't have 2 downward pointing arrows anymore. So a lot of times you'll make one in the extra monster zone and then you'll like make another one right below it because you can get 2 pretty easy. And then like you'll have to play out from there.
Link 1 shouldn't have 3,000 attack though.
It's a lot of hoops to jump through to get to this Link 1. But yeah. So yeah, that's the extra deck. I think everything here is pretty good. I would maybe consider dropping this for the other Charles, just to have another level 9. Or maybe the Flame Swordsman to get back Charles, but probably just another Charles.
There's nothing else you consider cutting though? It's got to be the Link Revo probably? Link Spider?
It could be Typhon, but I like Typhon a lot.
More? You think that comes up more than getting Nib does?
I think it does, actually. But it's hard to say. But yeah, that's the extra deck. I'll show you the side real quick. The side's been pretty good. I don't have many complaints. Snatch Steal, you can search this card now.
That is nuts.
Yeah, you can search it with a little Roland, and then you can recur it with Renaud. So like, you'll like snatch their guy, make a thing, summon Renaud, add this back, do it again, take
Give me your other
It's
guy.
super cool.
You're a menace for that.
This card's really neat. Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm also taking advantage of the list. I'm playing 2 Pank. I think this card is really good. I've lived through enough of it that I'm just going to play 2.
After losing Isolde, you're like, I have to play every card that got on ban to make up
Pretty
for
much,
it.
yeah. But yeah, they've been good. I played against Sky Striker a bunch for some reason, and that's been really good against them, obviously. But yeah, I'm playing 3 Drolls. These are probably going to find their way to the main deck. They're just really good against a lot of stuff.
If they go to the main, what would you consider taking this slot up with then?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I probably should be playing like more definite answers for like probably Labyrinth and maybe something more targeted for Fire King. I'll show you here. A Harpy's Feather Duster should probably find its way in here.
You could side the Link Spider for the Nib player.
No. I am siding 3 Nibs myself.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, the guy. This comes up sometimes. I sided in a lot, actually. It's just really good going second. Because, like, if you nib them and then, like, have Snatch Steal, you win the game.
Take their token, hit for lethal.
Yeah, it's really stupid. But yeah, it's
the
good.
combo.
Yeah, you guys know. Nibiru's good. I'm playing 3 Cosmic Cyclones. This is for a number of things. I think it's really good against the Runic deck.
They found it 1 now? Or am I crazy?
I think it's a 2.
Oh, it's a 2?
I don't know. There's a number of them. You also will, you'll hit the Regained a lot too, so they don't keep getting advantage. I also really like it against the Fire King deck. because they go to resolve their island, and you go, wow.
Yeah, you thought, and that island has an effect on destroyed, right?
It does, yeah,
which makes this better because it doesn't destroy.
Yeah, it blows up their whole board. Well, no, that one will actually work when it's banished too. But a lot of times, if they don't get to resolve their search with island, it's not going to be good for them.
Cool.
And then the last card is 3 bells. This is for Labyrinth most specifically, but it comes up against some other decks too.
I saw a lot of lists that I was looking at online were playing, like, if they play both these on the side, they side Phantasme too. Did you ever play that card?
I've considered it. I actually have it pulled out for another deck here that I'm going to test out tonight, actually. But I think it's pretty good, and maybe these could be the Phantasmes.
Why honestly. Bell over, like, a Bestial or a DD Crow? What's the utility of that card specifically, this format?
I like this because it deals with the big welcome. Like whenever they go to activate, you can just use it there. It's also, you can use it against Wanted because it can add from grave.
Ooh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a few things. I think they're all pretty reasonable. I just really like this working with the big welcome negation.
That's fair, because it's like, you're not putting most of these in against the Labyrinth deck. You put these in and these probably.
Yeah, that's usually what I'll do, is I'll do these 6.
But like, I think Imperm is kind of dead against them.
Yeah, I usually side it out. I just like keep the Ash and these, and then I'm basically playing 6 Ashes against them. So, but yeah, that's kind of it for now. But yeah, I think these might be Phantasmes. I'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm playing this for now. I've tested a few different versions. This one's pretty cool. It does the combo really efficiently, and a lot of people don't know what it does, so like you can just kind of get them with it. It's kind of neat. I can show you the combo real quick if you want. I know we're probably running a little late here, but
to heck with it.
Yeah, to heck with it. That's right. So anyway, I'll just show you the quickie one. This is Sublimation Knight and Witch. So the play here is
it pure 2 card? I don't need a discard for this?
There is a discard, but it can be any discard.
Cool.
Yep. So you'll discard a card and activate the Witch, and Witch will get you the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, the 1-for-1 card. So this will be set. You're going to normal this and use its effect to equip Turpin. And remember, that makes this a tuner.
Isn't that also the name of like a hat? A turban?
A turban. That's a different one. That's a different one.
I'm uncultured, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We respect you. So then you make Baron, and Baron summon 3. And now you're like, oh, I have this card. I'm not going to send Baron to activate this. If only I had a free card. And then you do have a free card. You can equip the Turpin to the Baron.
Oh, broken.
Because Baron's a warrior. So you do this and send the Turpin. And then it lets you summon a level 1, so you get the Richardetto. And Richardetto lets you summon back this Turpin again. And then this becomes a level 5. And that is Angelica, which is the main thing you want to do. Angelica search.
That's your newest old.
It's basically, it's old too. So yeah, you search the museum. And now here's a problem that the other deck runs into sometimes, is you have an Angelica, and you have no way to easily trigger it, especially since you already used the Grave Affected Turpin to equip. So the cool thing here is Baron can destroy a card. Baron targets. So you can target your own Angelica to destroy it. And then you chain the Angelica, and she resolves, because she's been banished and all that stuff. And then you're able to send another card to graveyard. So you send a card that you want. Usually it's either this, or this, depending on what else is in your hand. Let's just say that we send Roland here.
Keep rolling.
That's what I'm saying. You do that, and you summon out the big Roland. And then you've sent that. This will come back at the end phase. And then you have a way to get to an equip spell. The reason why we need an equip spell is to get this card back to make your level 9. So this automatically gets you an equip spell. Now, if you do get trolled here, if you've been trolled earlier, instead of sending this, you'll send another monster that can be equipped from graveyard, so you can always get to an equip spell. But yeah, you get any equip spell here, it doesn't really matter which. Whatever one works best with your hand is usually the answer. But in a blind, we'll get Durandal. You equip the Durandal, you can use the spinny-like effect of Turpin to summon itself. You can get the value from your Durandal here, and usually I'll get Renaud as follow-up. Or if I'm feeling saucy and I really need to resolve something else, I'll get to Prediments, and that'll get me the Angelica's Angelic Ring. But yeah, so I'll get Renaud here. And then you synchro with these. This will be banished. Remember that. And you make your big Charles, and then you can use the effect of Roland to equip to the Charles. And now you have Charles equipped with an equip spell. You make the big Charles, and then you can equip this. And then from here, you can use the effect of the museum to summon this back. And then you have Renaud that you've not used. You can use the Renaud. You can add back any of these cards or the Turpin. You can either make a Baron here or an SP, or you can make another copy of your guy.
Broken.
Yeah, and then at end phase, In this case, since we didn't send the other equipper, we'll use this and get the Angelic Ring. And Angelic Ring will just be in your hand. And then when you use the end phase effect of the Big Charles, it can equip this from your hands, and then a Fire Warrior from your deck. This is where you get Malgus, because Malgus, when it goes to grave, draws you a card and it recycles your cards. So
gives you a little more follow-up,
yeah,
recursion.
so you end up with like basically this, and then Malgus usually, or if you're playing a deck that targets a lot, you can get Oliver. It just depends on.
So these are both Omni negates.
They're spell trap negates.
So spell trap, Omni, spell.
Yeah, Omni spell and
a pop.
And pop whenever you bring back your. Whenever you equip rolling from graveyard, can pop a card.
Cool.
Yeah, so all that's a 2-card combo. It's just and it's really resource rich because like next turn you can use this. If you started with wanted, you get that draw 2, and then whenever this goes, you draw a card, and then at the opponent's end phase, you're gonna get to recur another equip spell and get another warrior equipped. And then whenever you start your turn, you use this, summon the warrior you equip, and then you're off to the races.
That is sick.
So
and I have to deal with like all this then.
Yes, yeah. These are both like this is like a 4,500 attack monster. This is 35. This is 3,000.
If I can't out everything plus all your follow-up, I'm probably in a very, very bad spot if this combo goes through.
Yeah, so the only way to really stop the combo is to like negate one of these very early because you have the Baron. And then if they do something that makes you use the Baron, instead of sending this card, you send Gearfried, and then during the opponent's standby phase, you use this to bring out the Gearfried, so you still have a negate. In the case that they like stop it. So it's really cool.
Sick. This deck is awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Sorry, it's a really long video. I like to be thorough. So.
No, the people love the long videos. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Good
you.
luck, guys.